Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent. I was a teaching instructor when I was there. I worked the offer and compromise program. Yeah, debt settlement. I actually wrote a book about IRS settlements. I'm not peddling my book. I'm an expert in this. I have worked thousands of IRS cases, and I want to tell you about the biggest mistake that people make when they want to settle their tax debt. And they don't have. Remember, I used to approve these and deny these. I used to look at them, see all the mistakes people don't make. People have no conception whatsoever about how the IRS program works. I know this sounds really simple, but man, it is really the truth. IRS has a very specific formula to get your offer and compromise accepted for the lowest possible amount. So offer and compromise is about planning. It's actually about planning when you're going to be doing the worst, not the best. People think, well, I'm just going to fill this financial statement out and see what the forms say and let's give this a shot. So I accepted I worked the offer and compromise program. It's in the book about IRS settlements. You have got to know and shoot for when you want to do your offer and compromise. You want to file it at the right time with the right documentation. It's not something you can just say, well, I think today's going to be a good day to do this. You don't know what IRS is looking at. As an agent, I may look at your bank statements for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. You have no idea what I'm going to look for, so I'm going to try to tell you, if you're going to do this yourself, you must understand that IRS can take up to a 3 year look at what you're doing. So the planning of the offer and compromise is absolute critical. That black cat will tell you. I've made about 6,100 videos, a lot of them about the offer and compromise. If you want to settle your IRS debt, you must know the IRS formula inside and out. Inside and out. You cannot afford to go ahead and give IRS any more information than they want. So you almost got to pick the day, the time of month, what your bank statements look like, what your income looks like, and then file the offer when your finances literally are doing the worst. People think, well, IRS is just going to try to settle the case and this looks like a good number. There's a very specific formula, that IRS is looking for. And the big mistake that people make is they don't know exactly what an agent like me is going to look for. So for me, I'd look at your past adjusted gross incomes. I'd look at your gross incomes. I'd look at your expenses or all your returns filed. Everything has to make common sense. The thing that I'm looking for is that your bank statements, your tax returns, your living expenses, and how you spend your money on a monthly basis is really important to me, because part of that formula is all based on what you're doing on a monthly basis. The real big home run is IRS has an acceptable standard on what they want you to live by. You can, if you're going to do this yourself, Google the IRS National Standard Program. The National Standard Program tells you exactly what IRS is going to go ahead and allow for monthly expenses in the major categories such as food and clothing, housing, utilities, car payments, and car expenses. They are going to dictate to you what they are going to allow. You just can't put any number in you want. That's not how it works. IRS has a formula, a chart on what they're going to accept. So if you're going to contemplate doing an offer and compromise, you must speak to someone, whether it's me or anyone else who knows this. I don't think you can do enough due diligence and learn, because IRS doesn't tell you really the tricks and the secrets that are involved in doing the offer. First of all, make sure all your tax returns are filed. Make sure you're making estimate payments. Remember, IRS is going to want the liquidation value of all your assets. Your house is discounted 20%, and IRS was going to want to know the last 6 months, the last year, what is your monthly income. And IRS is going to follow a set necessary living expense standard that they are going to go ahead and assist on. So even though you're going to put your expenses in there, if IRS doesn't allow it, it's boot. And a lot of the expenses you have, IRS isn't going to allow. Do not submit an offer and compromise unless you've talked to somebody who knows this. It doesn't have to be me, whoever, unless that person knows that formula inside and out. You do not want that to happen to you. Offer is about timing. It's about when you put it up, what your records look like, what IRS is going to look at, and the eye that the IRS agent has when looking at this formula. Remember, whatever you have left over at the end of the month, IRS is going to want a portion of that times either 12 or 24. So be really, really careful. The offer and compromise is an art. And don't believe all these firms that say, hey, we can settle your debt for pennies on a dollar. Yeah, well, it's true. 7,000 offers were accepted last year. 35,000 were put in the IRS. So IRS really accepts about 19% of all offers. You should be able to get your offer in the first time if the planning is done very carefully. Remember, you have to know the acceptable standard that IRS is going to use. Make sure all your tax returns are filed, and if you make estimate payments, make sure they're all up to date, or IRS is going to boot your offer. I am an IRS offer and compromise expert. I wrote a book, not that it's a big deal, it's a best-selling book. I'm just letting you know I know what the hell I'm doing. Give me a subscription. Thank you very much. Remember that formula is everything.